Yeah, well, I was the most improved
Getting
at
more
being scattered. Yeah.
I think I have met Triplet. I've met you on my Facebook.
Yes, we've definitely met online. Maybe at a rollers gig many moons ago. But yeah, we've both been around for
rollers.
a minute. Yeah.
As in like roller.
Yes.
No way. Yeah, for sure. Well,
I
do you
used
know?
to go to them all the time.
So, do you know who was just at the gig where I just left? Is NVS. Do you remember that guy from like way back in the day?
Yo, maybe.
Oh, his set was it was such a treat for me. Like the younger crew that were there, they just went inside, listened to the jump up and everything, like the screech. I was out there just wilding out.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
What sort of music?
Jungle.
Cool.
But he has a
Was it a jungle event?
it was like, so I have like vinyl stage outside, and all us old dogs go out there, we play jungle, and then all the young bucks go inside, they'll play like jump up and that. So it's like, I don't know, 2 stages, and it's like 2 sort of crowds.
Oh, cool.
It is cool. But honestly, when he finished, I was like, brother, that was
there's quite
a treat.
few nights like cropping up in the northern like suburbs, especially like because there's a lot of English and Irish people up there, and wherever that is, you're going to be having a bit of raving sort of something's going on. They're going to need some local raves.
Wonder if we can get Triplet to play at NRG.
Oh, I think so.
Dang.
I think that kind of music is that.
That would be sick, eh? If she could play that, like, because the beer garden stage is going to be like the sort of duffer stage. I've got Braggadocio playing and Fiendish, so like the sort of.
We love the girls.
Yeah, guys, if you're just tuning in, that what we're talking about is an event that Astrid Fox is running in about 4 weeks' time?
Saturday the 16th of November.
Saturday 16th
Tickets
of November.
now on sale.
Yeah, fantastic. And sort of tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's story time, bub. So lots of love coming through on the TikTok live at Astrid Fox Music. Love you, Shaz. Now, it is story time, guys. I don't know if Triplet wants to stay for this or if she needs to go outside and have a smoke or whatever. Either way, you guys are about to get an education on Greg Packer.
Let's have it.
Okay. So I have some notes that I wrote today, but I thought this was really important to share with Perth. Anyone that's like driving in your car or laying in bed, like a little bit cooked still from last night, I really want you to learn about Greg Packer. So Greg Packer is from Northampton in England, and in the late 80s or early 90s, he won a b-boy competition breakdancing in the UK. So he loved his hip-hop, you know, like a little white kid type of thing. But he mentioned like he would hang out with all the kids that were like West Indies sort of crowd.
Yeah.
So he'd go back to their house and their dads would be playing reggae on vinyl. So that sort of, I think, gave him the inspo with the jungle. But basically he started out like with soul music, and his mum used to play like soul music around the house on vinyl. What a legend. And it made me think about my own kids, and like I always make them listen to my music. But anyway, so she influenced him. He loved music. And then basically he entered into a DJ comp in Berlin and he won. And so then he got like a residency in Berlin, and, you know, it'd be sold out every night, blah, blah, blah. Then he comes over to Perth because his dad was a brickie, right? I thought you'd love this.
Yeah.
So his dad's a brickie. He goes, oh, you know, we'll go out to Australia. So he comes out, brings the 2 kids, Greg and his brother. So they come out. Greg's just loving music, but imagine he's gone from that in the UK.
Yeah.
And he's like headlining shows with Carl Cox, sold out warehouse shows, the whole thing. And like, you know, those 2 guys are still best friends, Carl and Eric and Greg. But yeah, I just love Greg. So basically I arrived on the Perth scene. I don't know about, how old are you?
Me, I'm 26.
So I'm 10 years older than you.
Exactly.
Yes, I missed you. But Greg's a little bit older than me again, right? So when Greg arrived in Perth, you know, imagine the difference in the scene from the UK, and he was in like the happy hardcore.
Yeah.
And so then I think that like Carl Cox went more down the techno route, whereas Greg went more down the jungle drum and bass. And so you mentioned about Roller. On Thursday nights, we'd all go to Roller at the Rosemount just down the road, and Greg would play there. And I still have like an actual CD, and it's Greg Packer MC Shore Shock, and like they were just like some of the best nights of my life. Anyway,
So cool.
love Greg. Nicest guy. You would just be like rolling off you can imagine me before I was sober. I was a nightmare. And he's never rude to anyone. He's like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, fair enough. Like he's so lovely.
Yeah.
But I wrote a quote down here because everyone loves Greg. So we're really happy because I have this event coming up called NRG, and it's like my first sort of house music, tech house event. That's why I wanted Aaron M to play, and hopefully Triplet will come. But I thought, I'm going to ask Greg, but he doesn't do gigs because he goes to the UK every summer. He plays like Boomtown.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm going to ask him. And he wrote back. He said yes. So he's going to be playing at the Sovereign Arms in Joondalup on Saturday the 16th of November. And I'm so stoked. But basically, so he comes to Perth, he starts playing more like jungle drum and bass, and then he heard some tunes that were like remixes by Late Night Tough Guy. Have you guys heard of him?
Yeah.
And so I think he felt really inspired by those tunes, and then he started doing his own remixes, and that's now like his main source of income. You know, he was charting #1 on Traxsource, Juno, with these like beefed up heavy bass line, perfectly synced. Because I suppose as a DJ, so here's another interesting fact. Greg Packer has 25,000 records.
Amazing.
That's insane.
That is insane.
That's actually insane.
That's all the records that I own is behind Aaron. But yeah, love Greg Packer. So we're really stoked to have him. It's very generous of him to give us his time to come play at the Sovereign Arms, and we're just so stoked. Funky Fletch is also a well-known DJ here in Perth.
Yeah.
Love him. Love his wife Chloe. So they'll be there. Us, and I've hired decks off. You know that dude. Deviant?
Oh, yeah, Deviants.
Yeah. I'm dyslexic. Gethin, my boy, yeah. So have you seen his decks?
Oh, yeah, played on him, yeah.
Brother, so I've hired those decks.
Oh, nice.
Because I didn't want to like roll out with my shit controller for Greg.
That's all right.
So I've hired Gethin's full brand new decks, and that, what is that controller called? What's that?
Mix is called the V10.
V10. So I learnt to mix on that at London Sound Academy.
Oh, wow.
But I've only ever used it one other time in Perth when I hired his.
Yeah.
So I've hired that so that like I'm not embarrassed in front of Greg. But anyway, so I love Greg. He also then came to Perth, right? And he entered into the WA DMC championships. And he won. And so then he won like brand new decks. So he was stoked. But yeah, he's just the guy that everyone loves, and he's got tunes signed to like Glitterbox, Defected. When I was about 14 years old, it was when are we allowed to talk about stuff like that? No.
We're allowed to talk about anything.
Well, people used to drive red Mitsubishi cars everywhere, all over Perth, you'd see them. Blue dolphins in the water. Anyway, we go to Rise every Saturday. I was like 14, 15 years old. Greg Packer at the Rise residency, and honestly, they were the best nights ever. You'd have Greg, and yeah, like I can't imagine how insufferable me and all my friends must have been.
Nah.
But we would just like on the balcony, like, Greg, I need to tell you something that you don't know about music, or like try and like critique his movies. I just some wanker.
Someone's going to slide in with the banter.
I love Greg Packer, and so I'm so stoked. He lives in the northern suburbs of Perth. He's one of the unsung heroes of Perth. And just I'll finish my story time with a quote by, just to demonstrate the effect that Greg Packer has had on so many lives in Western Australia, in the Western Australian music scene. So just people like Shock One, Pendulum, Keto, all of those people, their careers began like in Greg Packer's sort of heyday. And so he walks so they could run. And so I love Greg Packer. But recently I saw Paul, what's his DJ name's El Hornet, but he's like the DJ from Pendulum.
Okay.
And he wrote, he walked as tall as any international DJ, and we were young rinsers. We'd hold our breath every time he walked in. He's absolute royalty.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
that's what Paul Harding
so
had to
sweet.
say about Greg. And when I read that, I was like, that really sums it up for me, because, you know, like we were all just like, Greg Packer. And so, yeah, stoked about Greg playing at Energy. And yeah, I just think it's a good story to tell about like people that are in Perth. And especially people like him. He's so modest or whatever. You know, there's so many people out there that are like, oh, I'm so good, this and that. You never hear Greg say that, but I just think that he's cool. So yeah,
he's old school, humble.
How do you know Greg?
I actually don't know Greg, but I feel like I know him because we've obviously got a lot of mutual friends. And then I remember like just flicking through the amount of tunes that he's produced. Like to me, like he's not an unsung hero to me because when I see that amount of music, and that's a genre he's got into later on. It's not even what he was first like.
Because that's your kind of tunes as well,
disco.
yeah.
No, disco. I don't play disco. I play
techno.
I play techno,
Yeah.
but I appreciate all different types of music, and when I played bar gigs and stuff, anything out of his collection is going to work fine.
The production, like when you do like commercial gigs, his remixes are like the types of songs that just carry you through. Yeah, and people just go off for it. It's just like the most sound production, and it's just, I just think he's like, it's like a good example of someone where if you just work your ass off.
Yeah.
And the thing that, you know, I would say about Greg is just that he really loves music.
Yep.
Like, it's really obvious that he's not, like, doing it for the clout or whatever. He's just someone that head down, bum up. During lockdown, I liked following his posts and that. It was pretty, like, spot on and that. And then just his perspective on, you know, the changes of, like, technology and things like that I've always found really interesting. Because he has seen it literally from records, CDs, like... Yeah. What a legend. So, anyway, what would you like to say about Greg Triplett?
I feel like you've totally covered it with that man.
My notes.
He's a legend of the city.
He's from the same county as me, actually. Where
No way.
Yeah, I used to play. Well, like,
I can't believe you have him at the Sov. That's so fun.
At the Sov! At the Sovereign Arms, at Time Zone, Lakeside Joondalup. That place goes off. We've been holding raves there.
I've played at the Sov before. That's
we
so
had the
funny.
fire there. I had my firework cannons blowing off. Oh, yeah. No, that place goes off. Don't worry, lad. It's going to go off, and you're going to be there.
Yeah. Is that like a Jedi mind trick? You will be there.
I think she will, unless she's working. That's the only reason why I don't.
I'll be there in spirit.
Oh, we'll be working.
I think I'll be in Melbourne that weekend still. I think.
All right, we'll pay that. I'll pay that. Melbourne's
All right. Well, we're going to say goodbye to Brooke. Mate, wicked to have you on finally. As we always ask, if Ben were here, he would ask the same thing. Will you come back?
Of course, mate.
Fantastic.
It was a pleasure.
It was. Wicked music, wicked vibes, always. Can't wait to see you again, and I'll probably bump into you around the traps.
Sure you will.
Legend. Thank you very, very much. We're going to cut to a quick sponsorship announcement, and then Astrid Fox is going to be in the mix for the remainder. We've not got all that long left because we've been chatting. But